You might have heard the term gig economy being thrown around a lot lately. But what does it mean? The gig economy refers to non-traditional jobs that are flexible and often fit into the category of self-employment. These days, people, particularly millennials, are looking for work with a little more flexibility. Or they're looking to earn some extra cash outside of their PAYE job. Temporary jobs, self-employment and fixed-term contracts are becoming a popular option as the job landscape in Ireland continues to change and adapt to the modern world. These changes have stemmed from a lack of traditional jobs during the economic crisis, a desire for people to fit their job around their lifestyles, and the introduction of new technologies. Platforms like Uber, Upwork, Deliveroo and Fiverr give people a chance to share their skills and find work online. These platforms make gig economy jobs sustainable and allow ordinary people to capitalise on their skills. In 2015, over half of all workers in the Eurozone were on fixed-term contracts, but these numbers are shrinking and are headed towards pre-recession levels. But despite this drop in numbers, there are still thousands upon thousands of self-employed people in Europe. So who is a gig economy worker? Well, it's the Uber driver you were talking the ear off last Saturday night. It's the tech consultant that takes the odd jobs in your office building. It's the designer you had make your business cards. There are gig economy jobs in almost every industry and every line of work. It's not only the full-time self-employed who contribute to the gig economy. It's also PAYE workers who want to make some extra cash on the side. There are all kinds of people working all kinds of gig economy jobs. A survey by Deloitte UK showed that 14% of British millennials chose to work in the gig economy, while an additional 14% are working a gig economy job while also in a full-time job. But in recent years, there's been a lot of controversy regarding whether the gig economy is a good or a bad thing. On the one hand, it gives workers freedom, but on the other hand, it leaves them without the institutional support that PAYE workers receive, like say lack of benefits, an inability to take holidays, and your employer withholding tax so that you don't have to spend hours working out what you owe. And whether you're a full-time gig economy worker or you're a PAYE worker with a side hustle, you must file a tax return. Unlike a PAYE job, you're responsible for paying your own taxes. If you're working in a PAYE job, but you happen to take on work in your free time, you can file your taxes under the PAYE tax assessment, as long as you earn less than €5,000 net after expenses, but not nil from your non-PAYE income. But you must submit a tax return Form 12. If you earn over €5,000 in non-PAYE net income in a year, you must file your self-assessed taxes. In this case, you must register a self-assessment revenue and submit a Form 11. If none of your work falls under PAYE income tax, you are obligated to file under the self-assessed tax system. Again, in this scenario, you must register as self-assessed and submit a Form 11. The deadline for filing your taxes is the 31st of October the following year. If you fail to file on time, you will face penalties. If you're not up to date with your taxes, you'll have to pay what you owe from previous years. You may be entitled to claim expenses and reliefs, which will help limit your liability, meaning you pay less. Most workers have expenses, like business cards, a new computer, or other necessary job-specific tools. In some cases, business expenses like these can be written off against your earnings. There are two types of business expenditure: revenue and capital. Revenue expenses are allowable if they are incurred wholly and exclusively for the purpose of the trade. This would include your electricity, internet, accountancy, and legal fees. Capital expenses may qualify for capital allowances relief at 12.5% over 8 years. These expenses include things like computer, tools, equipment, and so on. Unfortunately, if your work happens to be inconsistent or infrequent, it is not considered trading, which means you can't access relief for capital allowances. There aren't enough hours in the day to figure out all the correct forms and reliefs. We know the ins and outs when it comes to claiming reliefs and deducting expenses. So why not let us help you file your taxes? Contact taxback.com today and a member of our team will help you file your taxes with ease.